The No Ice Agenda, A Warning to Humanity. By Zenoya, Thursday, January 9, 2025. Permalink. As polar ice vanishes, we face a calculated power grab that threatens not just our environment, but our very freedom. This isn't merely about climate change. It's about using environmental collapse as a pathway to unprecedented control. The No Ice Agenda. As polar ice vanishes, we face a calculated power grab that threatens not just our environment, but our very freedom. This isn't merely about climate change. It's about using environmental collapse as a pathway to unprecedented control. The warning signs are here. Strategic positioning in Greenland and Antarctica. Scientific, drilling masking resource exploration. 22 trillion tons of methane ice becoming accessible. Development of sealed habitat technology. Military positioning in Arctic regions. The timeline is unfolding. Allow, encourage ice melt. Claim newly exposed resources. Control essential elements. Fresh water. Mineral deposits. Shipping routes. Strategic territories. The endgame. Uninhabitable surface conditions. Dependent populations in sealed habitats. Complete resource control. Absolute power over basic necessities. Elimination of freedom through dependency. Why this matters now, the pieces are already moving. What looks like separate events, Greenland acquisition attempts, Antarctic drilling, Arctic military buildups, are connected steps in a longer strategy. Each melting glacier, each territorial claim, each new, scientific study, brings us closer to this engineered future. The choice: we stand at a crossroads. Either we recognize and resist this no ice agenda now, or we accept a future where our descendants live in controlled environments, dependent on those who engineered this crisis. The time to act is before the ice disappears. Once it's gone, so too may be our chance for freedom. This isn't science fiction. This is a real threat unfolding in slow motion before our eyes. The new feudalism. What we face is medieval control amplified by modern technology, a system that would make ancient lords weep with envy. Power structure. Habitat controllers replace feudal lords. Dome workers replace serfs. Security forces replace knights. Habitat walls replace castle barriers. Resource control replaces land control. Perfect prison. Instead of castle walls and moats. Computerized airlocks. Atmospheric control systems. 24/7 digital surveillance. Biometric tracking. Resource metering. Inescapable control. Medieval peasants could flee to forests. Dome residents have nowhere to run. No independent food or water. No gathering in secret. No survival outside the system. Ultimate power. Control over every breath taken, every drop of water, every morsel of food, every movement made, every human interaction. This isn't just environmental catastrophe. It's the perfection of feudal control through technology, creating an inescapable system of dominance that past tyrants could only dream about. The timeline is closer than you think. A child born today will be only 50 in 2075. Today's teenagers will still be in their 60s. Your children will live to see this future. Your grandchildren will inherit this system. This isn't science fiction, it's their reality. What this means for our children. They could spend their prime years under domes. Their children will know only controlled environments. Their basic survival will depend on compliance. Their freedom will be a distant memory. Their future is being stolen in plain sight. The year 2075 isn't some distant future. It's within touching distance of today's families. Every child playing in your neighborhood right now could live to see this nightmare become reality. Every baby born today could spend half their life under this system of absolute control. This isn't just an environmental crisis or a power grab, it's a direct threat to everyone we love. The time to act isn't for some future generation, it's now, while we still have a chance to prevent our children from living in these high-tech prisons. The no ice agenda, life under the dome. The sealed habitats would create perfect prison systems where disobedience means death. Daily reality in the domes. Every breath monitored and metered. Water rations tied to compliance. Food distribution as control. Movement tracking mandatory. Reproduction rights restricted. Methods of control. Resource leverage. Oxygen supply manipulation. Water quality adjustments. Temperature control punishment. Food quality penalties. Medical care restrictions. Social engineering. Forced labor quotas. Behavior scoring systems. Restricted communication. Monitored interactions. Controlled education. Physical constraints. No escape possible. Limited living space. Constant surveillance. Restricted movement. Controlled access zones. The power dynamic. Administrators live in luxury sections. Workers confined to cramped quarters. Dissidents face environmental exposure. Children used as leverage. Elderly deemed resource burdens. Resistance would be futile. Cut life support to entire sections. Isolate problematic populations. Execute through accidents. Starve out rebellious zones. Remove oxygen as ultimate weapon. The birth of the Borg, 2075. Unlike Star Trek's fictional Borg, our assimilation would be driven by environmental necessity and power consolidation. Resistance is futile, becomes reality. No alternative to cybernetic enhancement. Mandatory integration with the system. Biological autonomy eliminated. Individual identity suppressed. Collective control established. The hive mind structure. Central authority controlling all. Networked human consciousness. Monitored thoughts and emotions. Synchronized behavior patterns. Eliminated privacy. Key differences from fiction. Not alien invasion, human-made. Not space exploration, environmental necessity. Not equal collective, hierarchical control. Not biological evolution, forced adaptation. Not assimilation by choice, survival requirement. The human cost. Loss of individual thought. Elimination of free will. Controlled reproduction. Monitored emotions. Regulated existence. What makes this worse than the fictional Borg is that we're doing it to ourselves, creating our own technological prison under the guise of survival necessity. We've outlined something that transcends even Orwell's darkest visions. Beyond Orwell's nightmares. Orwell's 1984 imagined. Thought police. Surveillance. Information control. Physical oppression. Social manipulation. What we're forecasting by 2075. Direct neural control. Environmental dependency. biological manipulation, complete physical integration, absolute existence control. Why this surpasses Orwell. Control mechanisms. Orwell, external surveillance. 2075, internal biological control. Escape options. Orwell, hidden thoughts possible. 2075, no private thoughts exist. Physical freedom. Orwell, could hide in parole districts. 2075, no survival outside system. Power structure. Orwell, psychological control. 2075, molecular level control. In 1984, Winston could at least dream of freedom. In our 2075 scenario, even the ability to dream would be regulated. Orwell imagined a boot stamping on a human face forever. We're describing something far worse, the complete redesign of what it means to be human. This isn't just dystopia, it's the end of human autonomy as a concept. This isn't just dystopian fiction, it's the logical endpoint of the no ICE strategy. A world where the majority of humanity exists as a captive workforce, literally unable to breathe without permission from their overlords. The choice is stark. Stop this now, or condemn future generations to a life where even their next breath is not their own. P.S. Documented in the early hours of January 9, 2025, as the world sleeps unaware of what's coming. The timestamp matters. It marks when we first connected these dots, when we saw the pattern emerging. Future readers, if you're seeing this from your sealed habitat, know that some of us saw it coming and tried to warn others.